providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Oh, is it me?
It's you, Dolly.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing, and we're glad you're here. If it's your first time, I mean, really, even if it's not your first time, this is still Caregiver Crossing. We are a show brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with CarDon Associates. And we are here every week in the Joy's House studio to talk about all things caregiving.
Woo!
Wow, that was really underwhelming.
You want to do it again?
That's so much better. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers and mother figures everywhere.
For sure.
You know,
Amen.
Yeah.
And amen. Happy Mother's Day to you, Tina Bina.
Thanks. Happy Mother's Day to my daughter and her girlfriend. They just got a dog.
Oh,
Does that
I think
count?
that
Mother's Day.
It's a mother thing.
I think a lot of people are counting pets now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they should.
It's
I
the first
think
step.
They should.
Their dog's name is Doug.
That is a ridiculous but very cute name.
He is a Humane Society dog.
Good.
He is Pit and Basset Hound.
Oh, my lands. Wonder how that happened.
And he has mange.
Oh.
Even better.
Should I go on?
Yeah.
He looks like a gargoyle.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know what? He
Okay,
needed that.
Sounds like a Doug.
I love him so much.
He will be forever grateful that someone saved his
Little
life.
Doug. Well, happy Mother's Day. It is a great day to be celebrated. It's also National Women's Health Week, which is encouraging women to prioritize our health. So if you're a mother or not, the reality is women don't always prioritize our own health.
No.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Mhm.
And
It's true.
amen.
It's true. So do those things. And there was some theme you wanted to talk about with it, right?
This year's theme is very important. Know your bones.
Oh, know your bones.
This emphasizes the importance of bone health, particularly in preventing and managing osteoporosis.
You bet.
Mm,
You bet.
Have
I
you
have
done a bone density test?
I have a friend of ours, mine, Bo Rayleigh, the founder of Exercise Incorporated, which is a 20-minute once-a-week workout. However, what it does...
Wait a minute.
It was
20
designed...
minute once a week?
That's it.
Go on.
20-minute once a week. The program was designed for women with osteoporosis
Interesting.
because it keeps your bones, and what this 20-minute program is really a strength training, which is at the top of the list when it comes to taking care of your health and bone health included.
How do you strengthen your... I have a lot of questions. What's it called again?
The guy exercising. You want him to come in? You want to talk to him? He's great.
Yeah, we'd
I'd
love to.
I have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah.
His degree is in kinesiology, and he built these machines and it is, again, I mean, it is hard when you leave after your 20 minutes. David always had to help me get off the toilet or to help me into it because your bones are, I mean, your muscles, everything, just totally fatigued. You would find it interesting because it was developed for women with osteoporosis, but it's working for everyone of all ages.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about that. We will have him on the show. That would
Absolutely.
be great.
He's great.
Well, we want to talk about why this matters for caregivers, that you know your bones, that you're taking care of yourself. By the way, a bone density test is super easy.
It is.
So just do it. It's really easy. You're on the table, you're off. It doesn't hurt. There's nothing to do except lie there. So think of it like a spa treatment, but different.
Yeah.
But women are definitely at a higher risk for osteoporosis, especially after menopause. And, I know for me, my bones are changing. I can tell after menopause, and I'm on an inhibitor because of my cancers. And so it is a real concern. And let's be honest, we don't prioritize our health. We don't bring awareness to the stuff. I don't know. It just takes a little stumble and a breakage and life changes.
Yeah.
So some bone health tips. Terry, do you have any of those for us?
Bone health tips. Kind of like what I was talking about, engage in weight-bearing exercises, which can be very simple, like walking, or I know you guys are really good dancers.
So good.
And you dance hard and you sweat.
Yeah.
So you're doing it right. You're not just moving a little bit, although that's good too, but you're really dancing hard. And when I come in here and see the two of them,
No, we get into it.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
We like to do a mix of ballet and breakdancing
Yeah, it's like
together.
a get down, get down, get down, get down. Yeah, we're good at it.
They really are. Don't forget your D, your vitamin D, which you can get in truly just 10-minute doses of sunshine too, which we could all use. And what else is there? Calcium, of course. And then talk about that bone density testing with a healthcare provider, especially for women, as we said, over the age of 65.
Hey, you've got some fast facts. Whoa.
Fun
Fast facts. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if they're very fun, but they're definitely
careful,
fast.
Nelly.
So
Careful.
approximately 80% of the 10 million Americans with osteoporosis are actually women.
Womp womp.
Yeah. 1 in 2 women over age 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. 1 in 2 women. Bone loss can begin as early as age 30.
Wow. We're
At
fragile.
30.
Yeah.
We're a fragile gender. Really what this means is encourage and support the women in your life to take those proactive steps and just, let's not overlook ourselves. We're really, really bad at that.
I've never known anyone that had osteoporosis. Have you?
Yes, but I work with older adults.
But
I mean,
so that is what starts to happen. Your bones begin to get holy. Is that right? I mean, I think that's what happens. They become more fragile.
I think so. And the body structure changes, and you're just more prone to the breaks and
painful
and pains and bad things. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh,
That's probably important.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tina McIntosh.
Hi, Tina. I'm Terry.
Hello, Tina and Terry. I'm Noah.
Yeah, it's
Noah.
great to have y'all here. And I just want to share one little hot tip for you as we are looking toward it's the middle of May or thinking about things to do as a family. It might be too late for you today, but if you have never been to the Fort Wayne Zoo, please go. I'm making a plug, Noah. I just have to tell you, it is the best zoo ever.
Maybe take your mom to the Fort Wayne Zoo for Mother's Day.
Well, I mean, like you get in the car right now and go, no matter where you are.
What makes it a great experience?
It is accessible. It is beautiful. The landscaping is incredible. The animals, they sing.
All the animals
They
together
sing
in a
to
song?
you. They sing to you in song. No, that part
wow.
is not true. But
But
there are really good animals, and it's just wonderful. And it used to be the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. It is now the Fort Wayne Zoo. I want everybody to go. It's my hometown, man. I'm just telling you.
Is that what got you there? Were you going to
as a
hometown
kid,
visit?
as a kid, but I went a couple weeks ago with my family, and it just is, kudos to the Fort Wayne Zoo for everything you're doing. So go now. We have to take a break. Speaking of going, we're going to be back, here in just a minute.
I think we will be back.
We'll be here. That's it. Just stick around. We will be back here in just a few minutes with Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with CarDon Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. That web address again is joycehouse.org. All right, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never-frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences, like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code LISTEN50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code LISTEN50.
Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite show. It's called Caregiver Crossing. If you happen to just be tuning in, we're your hosts. My name is Terry Stacy, and next to me is
Tina McIntosh, you're being very formal.
I am.
What happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Noah's here. Noah Taylor produces the show. And we're thrilled to welcome to our little Joyce House studio in the Yellow House, Beth Timko, here to Caregiver Crossing. Beth is Regional Director of Marketing at CarDon Associates.
CarDon, who we love.
Yeah. And before stepping into leadership, she spent a whole lot of years as a recreational therapist, working directly with older adults and their families. She's got a heart for people and a passion for helping others find joy, even in the middle of the tough seasons. And she believes in the power of meaningful moments and the importance of making every interaction count, something that shines through in both her clinical and her marketing work and here at Joyce House. Hi.
Well, thank you so much.
That was a long introduction.
It was.
But wasn't it worth it? Wasn't it worth the wait?
It feels so good. Thank you
I
so
actually
much.
have a question.
Oh,
because
please.
I don't think a lot of people know, what is a recreational therapist?
That is an excellent question. So, recreation therapy is actually using activities, meaningful activities, play sometimes for a therapeutic purpose. So, it could be a lot of different things. It could be
Like dodgeball?
Terry, listen, Beth, before you got here, Terry was talking about all the activities that kids nowadays aren't allowed to do, like kickball.
Oh, yeah.
That's where that comes from.
She was asking if they're still allowed to do like freeze tag, and I said I don't know. It's like no touch. Like
Right. So I'm looking for
I'm
a
so sorry.
dodgeball.
She has gone off the rails with activities.
So we're going to mark that off. That doesn't happen in your world.
No, not usually. But I think we still can do freeze tag in the recess, kind of the elementary school area, but you can't do kissing tag like they did back when I was a kid in the 80s.
Kissing
So,
tag?
Didn't you ever play that?
I
as a
did.
kid?
I forgot about kissing tag. We even had a
Yes.
kissing tunnel.
Really?
What?
Yep.
I am shocked.
Yeah, that was my first little kiss. It was in the kissing tunnel.
Nice.
Oh, but how I digress.
Did you know
no
that we were going to
shocking-
be reminiscing today?
But that's fun.
It is
It
therapeutic
is fun.
too.
It's very therapeutic. But please, have we interrupted you enough now that you haven't been able to complete the sentence on what a recreational therapist does?
But I think it is hard, right? People think recreation, they don't think about that being an occupation. And so it is incorporating play and activity into your activities, yeah?
Yes. So for again, a meaningful purpose, for example, my first experience was working with adults that were developmentally disabled that also had mental illness. And
Yes.
so trying to work with them and help them develop social skills. But a very easy way to do that is to play a board game and learn how to take turns and learn how to not get angry when you have to go back to start and those types of things at a very simple
love
level.
that.
That was kind of where I started.
What a wonderful work, though, you were doing.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. So,
But you're not doing that anymore.
well, no, things have changed a little bit.
And so really do talk about that. Share a moment with us when an activity surprised you, something small that ended up being deeply meaningful for a resident or for a family member.
Well, the story that immediately comes to mind for me is actually from my first job. I worked at the Arizona State Hospital in Phoenix, and I worked with a woman, Virginia, who didn't speak. And we would try all sorts of things to get Virginia to interact with us. And one day, just sitting down next to her in the common room, I started to sing Amazing Grace to her, just one-on-one. And you'd say, Amazing Grace, how sweet the, and she would whisper, sound.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Wow.
that was, she would make eye contact and she would say that word. And she would do that for the whole song, just that last word in the phrase of each song. But we finally found a way to connect with her.
Music.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a common theme, I think, in a lot of the recreational activities and things that we can do with seniors, with people with disabilities, with anyone, our families, everyone. So
Yeah.
So I have a question, and I don't mean this to sound silly, but two of my nieces and my mom and I were playing, a kids bingo. They're little, like 5 and 6. And so we were playing the kids bingo with the animals on it. And whenever I was drawing the cards, and so like if I got a chicken, I would get up and act like a chicken. And then they would have to guess chicken. And then they'd find it on their bingo card.
That's perfect.
But technically, I mean, that is recreational therapy, right? Like if we were trying to do it to get up and move the body and learn our animals and connect, would that work?
It very well could be. It's all about the objective of the activity. So if you're working towards a social skill development, like we mentioned before, or those fluid movements, it could be doing something that works on our balance. It could be all sorts of things. So cognition, different pieces, we can touch all of those through a focused play activity or a focused recreational activity for that therapeutic purpose.
Yeah. What would be another example of something we could do? Like I'm thinking here at Joy's house, that would be, with our typically older adults living with some kind of a life-altering diagnosis. Like what's a good example for rec therapy?
Well, and again, you can adapt so many things for so many reasons. So if you have people that are focusing on upper arm strength, for example, you could just use an activity that is going to use those arms. If it's even seated bowling where they're pushing the ball. That's a focused piece where we're working on that. And we could do a balance that way for the people that are ambulatory, people like that.
I feel like at home, making my kids mulch.
Right.
That seems like a good recreational therapy.
I don't know if that counts as recreation.
Yeah.
No?
That might be chore. That could
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but maybe for those that are home, that are caregivers and they've got someone that they're with and caring for at home. Maybe something easy to start with when it's just one-on-one. Can you give an example? If they are, for example, they still can get up and move around, that patient, that one they love and care for.
Right. And
do you have an idea, an example that can help them that are listening to us right now?
Well, it would depend.
Mulching.
Tina is big on the yard
mulching
work.
and pulling weeds. I think is a
has
good.
that work that needs to be done at her home.
I don't know why you're yelling at me. It's early.
Well, but to your point, Tina, that's a good idea though. Like if you have someone that is, if they're working on fine motor skills and you have the flowers in your garden that need to be deadheaded, right?
That's a good idea.
Those types of things, especially if that person was always in the flowers, always gardening. It's connecting those interests and experience and desires to be involved in a meaningful way for a therapeutic purpose.
I think sometimes, Beth, and I know we're going to have to take a break here in a minute, but I think sometimes what I find working with older adults and caregivers is people will say, well, I don't want to take advantage of mom. Like I don't want to make her deadhead the plants, or I don't want to make her match and fold the socks. And, from that therapeutic perspective, it's like, but it gives that person purpose and it helps with dexterity and it helps with focus. And, and we should laugh and play through this stuff too. I mean, I think so often we forget to find the enjoyment in those moments. And okay, I remember one time here at Joy's house, Mr. Randolph, way back in the beginning, yelled up at my window, "Hey lady," because I had the, windows were open. "Hey lady." And I look out and he's holding 2 of the hostas we had just planted. And he says,
"What was he doing?
These weeds are getting huge." And I was like, hold me back.
My gosh,
I love him and I'm going to kill him.
That is so funny.
I think
I love it.
And we laughed about it and thought, what's the big deal? It's just 2 hostas. We can replant them or we won't.
Look at this great memory this man made for you. Of him to you.
Mr.
And he was proud of
Randolph.
himself.
Mr. Randolph.
Oh, he was very helpful, that one.
Gosh.
Well, all right, we're going to have to take a break. I do want to encourage everybody to email us with your thoughts, your feedback. If you want to be put in touch with Beth and the good folks at CarDon, let us know that too. But we do want to hear from you. So you can email me directly at tina@joyshouse.org. And stick around because we'll be back here in just a moment.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing. It's a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joy's House in partnership with CarDon Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. CarDon Associates, they provide residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more info and to find a community near you. All right, everybody, stay put. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Do you want to unlock your inner excellence? Do you want to learn how to think like a champion? My name is Jim Murphy, and I'm a performance coach and author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Inner Excellence. With Inner Excellence, you'll learn how to perform under pressure, remove mental blocks, achieve greatness, and fully live every moment. Sound good? It's all in Inner Excellence. Available now where books and audiobooks are sold.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. I'm Tina McIntosh in studio with co-host Terry Stacey, producer Noah Taylor,
Hello.
and the wonderful Beth Timko, who is Regional Director of Marketing at CarDon. And we wouldn't be here in Caregiver Crossing without CarDon. So we're so grateful for your partnership, and just everything y'all do in the community is incredible. And you, my friend, we're talking about rec therapy. And I know you all do so much at CarDon that people just don't even, realize, and rec therapy is a part of that. I do want to know, before we get too far into that, has there ever been an activity that you've done, rec therapy, that you thought, this is, this may work, it may not, and it ends up being like a huge hit?
Yes. So actually, it'll take me back to when I was activity director in Terre Haute back in 1996-ish.
Back in 1996.
Way back in 1996. So there was an activity that I inherited from the activity director before me. They just called it horse races, and I really didn't even know what it was. You put the little game board out on the table, and all the residents picked a little horse that they were going to bet on, and they rolled the dice. Well, it seemed kind of, elementary to me to play with older adults. But oh my gosh, the reminiscing that we got out of it, they were competitive. They were teasing each other. They were laughing about it. The dice would fall on the floor and they would just giggle. It was so many spontaneous reactions I did not expect to come from a very simple game that I wish I could take credit for. But it did. It really surprised me that everybody was just so engaged and so joyful in it. And it was so simple.
I wonder how often we think that what we're going to do with a loved one, I'm thinking about people who are listening, at home, how many times do we think that what we're going to do has to be a big production?
Mm-hmm.
That's what, your story makes me think of that, right? Your experience, you probably thought, oh, this is so simple. How is this going to be so great? But often it's those little moments that come from something so simple that make a big difference. Do you know what I mean when I say that, Terry?
I do. I do, because we try to do that for everything. Even if we're having a party in our own home.
Yes.
You think you got to do this and this and this. And when it's just simple stuff. People just like to get together and laugh and have a good time. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the giantness of your presentation.
I think I'm going to have a party. Now that you say that, I'm going to have a party. And we might
better
do
be
horse
fun,
racing,
because
and
they get
everybody
bored
can
pretty
mulch
easy.
before I feed you.
You can get bored pretty easy, though, in some instances, and for our seniors and those we care for as well. And there are probably some pretty clear signs that this is not going well, right?
Yes, so you can usually tell, as sometimes people are not able to tell us in their words that they're frustrated, or they're bored, or that they just need that extra piece of stimulation, whatever that happens to be. Sometimes it will be because they will follow you around and maybe not say anything, but they're always in your shadow because they're looking for something to do, but they can't explain that. It could be that they're complaining a lot, and that might be because, maybe they are in pain a little bit, but if they were engaged in an activity, then that might help with the breakthrough pain to keep their mind off of it. It could be all sorts of things. Are they sleeping too much? Are they too sedentary? Those pieces where we really need to look at how can we maybe pick up the pace a little bit, or change up their day, or add a little spontaneity and a little joy into their lives.
Interesting. And I wonder how many times they're telling us, either through body language or through their words even, and we're not listening to them.
It's hard to see. Unless you look at it with that lens, it can just be seen as, oh, they're just being clingy, or they're just being lazy, or whatever it might be. But
Difficult.
it's really
Yeah.
exactly,
Difficult,
it's exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I would encourage people too, just because you've tried something and it hasn't worked once, twice, 3 times, doesn't mean it won't work in the future.
Right.
Whatever it is, whatever that activity is. And so maybe try giving somebody 2 choices. Would you like to blank or would you like to blank? And let them choose something too. So I just want to encourage caregivers, because I think it's really easy to get frustrated. And so what is something simple, a joyful activity that a caregiver could try maybe this week that takes just a little bit of effort, but can make a real difference in their lives?
Well, I thought of 2 different examples for this one. And we do have so many options out there with social media and, television and all of those things. One of the things that's brought a lot of joy to people that I've seen, especially or those residents in our communities that maybe aren't able to interact on the same level as others, is to simply watch a video of babies laughing.
Oh my! Is there anything better?
It's so simple, and you can YouTube it, you can do whatever, but there's so many of those fun little videos. There's even like compilations on YouTube of babies laughing, and it goes for 20 minutes. But just to hear that and feel that and see that, if you can't speak and you aren't able to participate in a lot of physical activities, but think of a joy that you remember when your babies were laughing and all of that. So it's a reminiscent thing. It's also, it's a contagious joy feeling.
Yeah.
So
and that probably would even work for those with memory loss, right?
Oh, absolutely.
for sure.
Though that would still work for those, because that's another different area where maybe some of the activities just don't go as well as for them as others.
Exactly.
So perhaps that laughing child is kind of, universal.
Well, you're in the
regardless.
same room and you're doing dishes, you're laughing along with them while
Yeah.
they're watching
Yes.
and that's another just way to
Yeah.
lose yourself in the moment for a little bit.
And maybe, if they can't look at the screen, I mean, they'll still hear it. But maybe if you've got a baby doll, give them the baby doll. If you're especially someone with dementia, and particularly women seem to be drawn to that too. Like have a baby doll that is in their arms. And I bet for them that will really resonate and, be laughter. This makes me think. So our 5-year-old niece has been at our house a lot lately. And the other night she wanted to go to sleep in our bed. And so I had her in the bed with me and she said, Aunt Tina, can we hold hands to go to sleep? And I said, well, of course. And so I reached over and I held her hand and all of a sudden she very slyly said, why are you holding my foot? I had a hold of her foot and I thought it was her hand.
What? You grabbed hold of the foot?
She's little. I was very tired.
Toes with your fingers, or were you just holding on?
I just had a hold of the foot. Why are you holding my foot? And we laughed.
thumb feels weird.
So funny.
We laughed so
It's so
hard.
cute.
It will
What
be
a great story.
a core memory for me.
Absolutely, and her.
And her laughter, then, just what you're saying, Beth, like her laughter had me laughing.
so
It
cute.
was wonderful. So
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
spontaneous.
a great
Good
and
dose of
spontaneous.
medicine. Love it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate the insight. I don't know. We probably haven't had a rec therapist on since you were with us 5 years ago during COVID. So this is good conversation and good encouragement, reminders for us. And so I don't know. Are we going to get to talk about our memories when we come back?
I think so.
All right, cool.
Well, how do we get a hold of CarDon
yeah.
Associates?
Oh, yeah, that.
Before we let you go, if anybody would like to know.
Oh, well, you can check us out on our website. That's probably the easiest way. There's a lot of resources on our website too, and a lot of connections to the 20 communities that are here in Indiana. But you can also just give me a call if you like.
Okay, what's that number? Want to give it? Your cell phone, your personal cell phone, your home number,
Social
Give your Social
Security.
Security.
588-2300.
Oh, Empire.
Yeah.
Oh man, that will forever stay with us. CarDon Associates. Listen, we've got. Thank you for coming in and talking to us today. You're awesome, and everything you do for Joyce House, you're much appreciated.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with CarDon Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 4 decades of senior living experience, CarDon Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. All right, stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Boom.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. It's a final segment. You only have to put up with us for a few more minutes.
They love us.
I
By
hope
they,
so.
I mean somebody out there.
I hope so.
Somebody, we love
hope
you.
it's
Gina's having a bit of a memory issue. God love her. And I just wanted to mention to you that there was some new research this week that came out that suggests chewing wood may boost your memory.
Why do
Tell
you
me
make
more.
this stuff up?
Tell me more about this.
I'm not. Chewing on harder foods like wood.
First of all, wood is not a food. Go on.
May help improve memory and brain health. According to a new study, researchers found that chewing wood significantly increased a word I don't know, like glutathione, which is a brain antioxidant that protects against damage and supports brain function. In the study, participants chewed wood.
Well, thanks for joining us here in Caregiver Crossing. I'm sorry it's been this painful. Go chew some wood. I don't get
The
it.
participants who chewed wood had higher
She can't even say it with a straight face, you guys.
higher levels of glutathione in the brain. And so there's released research.
Where does this come from?
This comes from research.
No, what is your source?
It doesn't really say, which is interesting.
Wikipedia.
But it came on the a really good, trusted news source called 1440.
Like it's legit. You're
Yeah,
saying
you
this
can
is a
learn more-
legit
right.
study.
There's a whole story about it. Researchers found that chewing wood significantly increased the glutathione, a brain
Why is she repeating
antioxidant
it?
that protects against damage.
No, will you put a link to this
Because
study
I'm saying it
on our
again because
Facebook
I
page?
need to probably chew some wood.
I
So I
don't-
could remember
I
that
feel
I...
like you'd get like mouth splinters. Like,
Right?
This
That
seems
sounds
painful.
It
No,
does sound
before you were
painful.
born, long ago, all of us chewed our pencils. And perhaps...
Oh, yeah. Look what that did for us. That worked out so well.
Anyway, I'd like to say welcome to you all here on Caregiver Crossing. Thank you very much. May is Older Americans Month. You might want to get them a pencil.
Number 2. That is wild to me. But okay, I'm going to... 2025, there's a theme. Do you know this for Older Americans Month? It is
is it?
Flip the Script on Aging.
I like
Flip
that.
the Script on Aging.
What's
What
that
does that
mean?
mean?
Well, it means you just
Jinx.
rethink. So it's reframing aging. There's actually a national association that works on this called Reframe Aging. And it is encouraging rethinking about how we perceive and talk about aging. Now, an example that's often used, and I don't know how much I agree with this or not, is greeting cards. The greeting cards for aging. Most of them aren't beautiful, like, you've given back to this world and you have so much more to give. They're kind of like, you're so old.
Oh, the
Blah,
humor
blah, blah.
part of it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
actually think some of them
Oh,
are
yeah.
really funny, and we get a
I
little
do
too
too.
sensitive. But it is it's changing the way that we word things. So like instead of saying that guy with dementia, or that old guy with dementia, it's
Yeah.
the man living with dementia. I mean, it's just some of it are simple terms.
Or when
that-
you're mad about something, you immediately say, what do you say on social media? Boomer, go away.
oh wow, this
do
has
see a lot
happened to
of that.
Terry
Or
recently.
die boomer. Or,
People say die boomer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
Pretty rough. And
Well-
you, for one, don't even know that person is a boomer. You just think because of their ideology or the way that they're thinking that must be a boomer because they're thinking old ways.
Yeah, they're not saying it as a compliment.
No, it's not a compliment. And people are mean, though.
People
and
are really
I wish we could
mean.
flip, more than anything, I wish we could flip the script. I would like to be hopeful, but I don't know how you do it.
I mean, it starts with being an example to other people and, just trying to show respect, I think. And some of that comes with caregiving, too. It's the way we talk about things. I think so many times when it comes to caregiving, when it comes to, I don't know, just life, we have this narrative inside of our heads. I have something in my life right now when people say, how is that going? My narrative was, which was negative, right? How it came out when I really challenged myself to think, actually, it's going great. And then, so I think we need to change our narrative inside of our own heads and be an example and really show kindness to people is what it starts with. So it is about language and it is about how we respond about caregiving and things like that. But, we have a lot of work to do in our communities about what it means to live longer and live better in our communities, which is actually the name of a committee for the Commission on Aging that I'm chairing right now called Living Longer, Living Better. So a lot of this stuff plays into that. And I don't know why we don't talk more about the stories about people who are aging, right? Reminisce and tell funny stories and tell words of wisdom. And I mean, these are people who have lived decades and decades and decades.
Many cool experiences.
And so, you know what? By far more interesting to talk to than others. When you talk to somebody that has lived a life, I mean, a complete life, right?
But you have to ask them questions.
You have to ask them questions. You have to ask them questions. You have to be interested. But once you just ask a question, and you should talk to seniors, talk to older adults. They've got a lot of cool stories.
Ask them how would they have done something.
Right. Or the things that they have seen, the changes that they have seen in this world since they were born and all the things and the experiences. But I think far more interesting to have at a party than like Kid Rock.
Wow. Noah?
Let's go talk to Kid Rock.
I would hang out with Kid Rock at a party.
That was a bad choice. That was a bad choice.
Definitely some interesting stories to talk about.
I take that back. Not Kid Rock. I should have picked somebody different. I don't know who, but that's my first person.
That's hilarious. Well, Kid Rock is probably going to fall into this category because by 2030, 2034, one of those dates, there are going to be more older adults than there will be children under the age of 18 in the U.S. So you could have him to your party. You could have your cake and eat it too.
That's
Terry.
right.
And I think also recognizing that older adults are a huge part of our community. I heard somebody not too long ago say, why would I want older adults? I think they said old people. Why would I want old people in my community? They don't bring any value. And I was like, oh, sir, do you know the economic value that people bring? The volunteerism,
so much
just the community engagement. I mean, the caregiving, like, give me a break. There's so much value.
Even Nick Roberts, who we had on last week, was talking about how older Americans are so important for our community and really understand the issues that our communities are going through too.
Right. And what's the other option? You round us all up and you send us out on some island? That's not going to work.
It's definitely not.
No.
Although if you want to round me up and take me to an island, we could discuss. Yeah. So, I think really the key takeaways for us as caregivers is we have to embrace that there is this strength-based approach to aging, and we have to be a part of it, and we have to change our own narratives, and we have to find those good moments to share with people. Not everything is doom and gloom. And so, all right, we've got to go. You can call us at Joy's house, 317-254-0828, or you are always welcome to email me, tina@joyshouse.org. I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up and say a big thank you to CarDon and Associates, our dear friends who help us to be here. Wonderful people. Until next time, take good care of each other.